Holding on to dreams that don't truly align with who you are creates mental baggage that prevents forward momentum. If you've been working on the same goal for months or years without meaningful progress, it's likely not a genuine desire, but a fantasy keeping you comfortably stagnant. Cutting these dreams loose isn't failure, it's a necessary step to direct you in the right direction to utilize your limited energy towards what actually matters. Kill dreams and move on. I'm Diego, Diego, and I write and talk about things that matter to me. Let's be brutally honest. That dream you've been talking about for years, the one you're working on but haven't made any real progress towards, it's probably time to let it go. Actually, it is time to let it go, so kill it. I know that sounds harsh, but if we're being honest, it's really the best move. We've all been conditioned to believe that abandoning a dream equals failure, that quitters never win, and that persistence will eventually always pay off. Maybe that's true, but it's only relevant if you're actually making forward progress. If you're stagnating, it's a different story. You aren't actually doing anything, so there's nothing to quit. It's a little loophole in verbiage that allows you to get out guilt-free. If you're not doing anything, you're not quitting anything. So kill it and move on. With that all out of the way, let's get uncomfortable. 1, it's a fact you have too many dreams. 2, some deserve to die. 3, killing them is the most liberating thing that you can do for yourself. Dreams versus fantasy, what's the difference? We can divide dreams into 2 categories: dreams and fantasies. A dream pulls you forward. You can't help but take action on it, regardless of the obstacle. A fantasy, on the other hand, is a false dream. It's something that you think you want and try to push yourself towards, but you constantly need to manufacture motivation that quickly fizzles out. There's no pull, it's all push. And push never wins in the long run. Anytime we have a choice, we want to be pulled through life. We don't want to be pushing life. Another analogy is we don't want to push stuff uphill. We want to chase it downhill. So go the path of least resistance and go with dreams, not fantasies. I've had both of these in my entrepreneurial journey. The dreams that had me making unreal sacrifices that others would not have taken, staying up late, doing all the hard stuff. They pulled me through the hard times. The fantasies had me watching YouTube videos about how to get started for months and months and months without me ever taking action or actually starting. I was dreaming of what could be and only dreaming, no action. Research in behavioral psychology confirms this distinction. Studies on intrinsic versus extrinsic motivation show that goals aligned with our core values create automatic momentum or pull, while misaligned goals require constant willpower, a finite resource that inevitably runs out. That's the push. Again, we want to pull forward, not push forward. For a brief period of my life, I got sucked into this idea that I was going to go all in on antique walking tractors. The plan was to buy them, restore them, and use them. Make videos about them, teach people about them, become a collector. I was really good at the buying part. That's the easiest part. I wasn't very good at the post-purchase part. I bought a few, they sat around, and I eventually sold them at a loss. The ultimate high in this whole process was the hunt for them and buying them. From there, it was a fall off of a cliff. The problem was, I liked the idea of doing this, not actually doing it. Let alone, I didn't have the skills, tools, or space to make this a reality, and I wasn't motivated enough to learn. My big lesson in this was, if the planning stage is incredibly exciting and the first steps involve buying a bunch of stuff, be very careful. Again, if the first step's extremely exciting and the initial process involves you buying a bunch of things to get started, be cautious about what you're getting yourself into. When I think about the rest of my life, most of my true dreams came about organically and didn't involve much planning. I jumped in and got to work. That doesn't mean I didn't plan, but I planned as I went. Anytime I've daydreamed, checked prices, made lists, and watched videos without actually doing the thing, it was usually a fantasy that fizzled out. The high cost of someday maybe. These unactioned dreams aren't just harmless aspirations sitting on the shelf like the book that you haven't read. They actively drain your mental energy, creating background guilt, and worst of all, they take up space in your life for dreams that you'd actually pursue. I call this the someday maybe tax, and it's astronomically expensive. Every time you say, I'm going to start that business someday, or I'm going to write that book when I have more time, you're paying this tax. You feel like you're making a deposit towards your future, but you're actually making a withdrawal from your present. It isn't just about you paying the tax, because others do as well. Your partners, kids, job, friends, and others in your life, they're all paying this someday maybe tax. Your time, mental presence, and bandwidth is all gone for something that isn't going anywhere. Sure, it's fun, but like anything, too much is dangerous, and we might as well have fun doing stuff that we actually do instead of having fun dreaming about stuff that we'll never do. The scariest part about this whole thing is your brain actually thinks this dreaming is real. Neuroscience explains your brain has difficulty distinguishing between visualization and actions. When you daydream about your fantasy business, your brain releases small hits of dopamine, the same reward chemical it would release if you'd actually done something. This creates a dangerous loop where thinking about your dream feels like progress, even when you've done nothing tangible. If you've been planning that farm or that business for years, if you've been planning to write that book or start that podcast for more time than you can remember, give it up. It ain't happening. It's not your thing, and it's okay. How to know when to let go? Here are some questions I've learned to ask myself to help distinguish between fantasy and dreams that are worth pursuing for me at a given time of life. 1. Why am I only doing this on paper and in my head? If this were truly important to me, I would have made some progress by now, regardless of obstacles, right? 2. When I imagine actually doing the daily work that this dream requires, not just enjoying the end result, do I feel energized or exhausted? I might love the idea of owning a bed and breakfast, but I don't love the idea of getting up every day, cooking some strange guests who are living in my house breakfast, and doing that 300 plus days a year. The idea intrigues me, but the day-to-day work required to get that end result, that doesn't intrigue me. So be careful about that. We can fall in love with the wrapper, not what's inside. And just like with people, it's what's inside that counts, not just what's outside. 3. What are all the bad parts about this dream? Maybe I'm aware of them just enough to be detoured not to start. I love the idea of running a marathon, but I don't love the idea of getting up extra early every day and running for 2 hours every day for the next few months. Let's just dream about it. That's easy. Hey, I'll run that marathon one day. That's fun. That's satisfying. My brain thinks it's awesome, but I hate the idea of actually doing it. Or the worst part, oftentimes the worst parts don't seem worse in the beginning. They seem novel because we're running on that honeymoon phase, all the adrenaline. Then you start doing it and you realize, oh, this is a real commitment. So really think about all the bad parts about that dream and decide, is this something I really want? Or again, do I just want the end results? 4, is this dream aligned with who I actually am and who I want to be? This is a key one, and this is very time specific because in my mid 40s, I'm very different than I was in my mid 20s. In my mid 40s, I'm going to a different point in life than I was in my mid 20s. So if I started a dream that I had when I was 29 and here I am 45, is that dream really still valid? Have I been dragging it along for 16 years? Or should I just let it go? So this is time specific. You might have started the dream without kids. Now you have kids. Does the dream still appear to be relevant? So ask yourself, is this aligned with who I actually am and where I want to go today? 5, am I sure this will make my life better? Again, am I sure that this will make my life better? And are there better ways to actually improve my life? You might say, well, I want to start a business to improve my financial situation. But there might be a easier, better fit way to improve your financial situation, like working more hours at your job, putting in overtime, getting extra training, trying to get a promotion, switching companies, doing some consulting on the side. There are often multiple ways to arrive at an appropriate solution in our life. And too often we become fixated on one way. Often that's the way that we came up with because we're so brilliant after all. And that's often our first reason. And then we get in tunnel vision and we just focus in on that single reason, ignoring all the other reasons out there, good and bad. So if you think this thing will make your life better, having that farm will make my life better. What are you trying to make better? Your marriage, your life for your kids, your food situation? And is there another way to solve those problems without the farm? That's a key question to ask. And the last one, perhaps the easiest of them all, do I really think this is happening? I think we all know when we're BSing ourselves. We know when we're not being true to who we are. We can fool the other people, but often you cannot fool yourself at the end of the day. You know, when you look at your actions, what you think about, what you actually do, and the progress you've made, whether you're actually committed to something. There's businesses I've wanted to start. I got all excited about them. But I knew at the end of the day, this isn't something I'm going to follow through on. I'm not following through on it now. I don't want to do it. I need to move on. So think about this yourself. Is this something that I know that I'm not fully into at my core? One caveat here is we might have told a lot of people that, hey, we're doing this thing. I'm making it happen. Then suddenly we're not. Don't worry. Other people are busy with their lives. They're not going to notice that you didn't do that thing. And if you decide to leave it, you just say, hey, I investigated. It wasn't a fit for me in my life right now. I'm moving on to something else instead. Perfectly acceptable reason. Much different than the story that we tell ourselves when we move on or kill dreams of, I'm a loser, I quit, I couldn't make it, I gave up. That's not why we're giving up here. We're just going after dreams that we really want and dreams that we have an actual desire to try and achieve, and cutting out everything else. We're going to focus on the one or two things in our life instead of 10 things. We're going to make progress on those one or two things instead of making no progress spread out over 10 projects. You're not quitting, you're just realigning and refocusing your efforts. Most stalled dreams fail at least one of these tests. And when they do, it's time to officially kill it and move on rather than letting it linger in purgatory. Windows in life don't stay open. Here's another truth that's really hard to swallow. We all have windows of opportunities in our lives, periods where we have the energy, time, and resources and circumstances to pursue certain dreams. These windows don't stay open indefinitely. We hear about them all the time in football. Somebody's Super Bowl window's open. Oh, that window's slammed shut. We have those opportunities in our lives. When we have desire, energy, motivation, financial resources, time resources to go after something. Life evolves as it always does. Something changes and that window temporarily gets shut. So make use of these windows while you can. I sit here as somebody in my 40s looking at entrepreneurs in their 20s with a mix of envy and frustration. They have a window that I no longer have. Minimal responsibilities, maximum energy, and decades ahead to recover from failure. Yet so many squander their dreams about what they'll do someday instead of acting on them now while they have time. The reality is blunt. You'll never have more time, energy, or fewer responsibilities than you do today. Tomorrow only brings more obligations, not fewer. So the sooner you realize that, the better. That window that you're waiting for, it's not opening any wider. It's closing instead incrementally every day. If you want to go now because tomorrow isn't guaranteed. The dream inventory. What stays, what goes? Need some help figuring this out? Conduct a dream inventory. It's a brutally honest assessment of every single significant aspiration you've been carrying around. For each dream, I ask questions like, have I taken meaningful action on this in the past 6 months? Does the thought of doing this work actually energize me? Is this aligned with who I truly am, not who I think I should be? Does this dream still make sense in my current life context? Any dream that doesn't get 4 yeses gets officially retired, not postponed, not put on a Sunday maybe list, permanently retired. We're not circling back to this thing in the future. They're gone, dead. If they come up again at a new stage of life, fine. That's a new dream. The old ones are gone. We're culling the lists. You get where we're going. We're not carrying this baggage forward. It stops today. Here's the dreams. Here's the ones that don't make the cut, gone out of my life forever. I can move forward unencumbered. If all those questions sound too complex, no problem. I get it. Just ask yourself, what's the actual reality of me taking serious action on this in the next month? If that comes back low, kill it. If you're not willing to do something towards that dream in the next month, get rid of it. It's not a real dream. The results are going to be uncomfortable here, but they'll be clarifying. You're probably carrying around quite a few dreams that you've had for years, and you don't realize how much they're holding you back. When you cut them, you realize how much time and bandwidth and relief you get. I felt this. Suddenly, I wasn't bogged down mentally with this open loop of this thing I need to keep getting started. I don't really want to do it, but I feel like I need to keep starting it. That loop was gone. The relief was immediate, and the clarity of what remained was energizing. Instead of trying to look at 10 things at once to focus on, here's 1 or 2 that I could focus on and move forward with. Freedom on the other side. When you release dreams that aren't a fit, three things happen. One, you eliminate background guilt of knowing you're not making progress. Ironically, in this instance, quitting turns you from a loser into a winner. I can now move forward knowing the stuff I'm focusing on, I'm making progress on. By quitting stuff, it's actually additive. You're removing dead weight. So instead of this loserism, as I've discussed about quitting, it's a winnerism. I'm getting rid of stuff to refocus on things that I want to do. I'm reconsolidating resources, time, energy, money towards things I'm making progress on and cutting it off from things I'm not making progress on. That is what winners do. Two, you mentally free up yourself in terms of bandwidth. You open up bandwidth and time for the dreams that you'll actually pursue. This is more valuable than you think. You only have limited time. You only have limited bandwidth. You spread it too thin and your brain goes paralyzed. Nothing happens. Get rid of that other stuff so you can open up your mind to get creative and free thinking about what you're pursuing and open up time so you have time to relax. And relaxing and free time is where a lot of the magic happens towards the dream you're actually pursuing. That's where ideas come from. New energy is restored, where dreams are built and fueled. So cut things out, give yourself time and bandwidth. By cutting out things that you're not interested in, you gain a remarkable amount of clarity about what truly matters to you at this point in your life. And that's very freeing. You might think this is who I was going to be, or this is who somebody wanted me to be, or this is who I wanted myself to be. When you do this evaluation, you decide this is who I am, and this is where I want to go into the future as who I am, moving towards someone I want to be. It's my vision of the future. It's my goal. It's not me from a past part of my life, and it's not some lingering person, teacher, mentor, friend, spouse, parent that was influencing you. This is you deciding, here's where I'm at today, here's where I want to go, and it's only you that's making this decision. None of this is about lowering your ambitions. It's about focusing them where they'll actually bear fruit. The goal is to stop dreaming about things that you'll never do and start doing things that you will do. Would you rather be the person with 20 dreams and no accomplishments, or the one with one single dream and one achievement? One is only one, but one beats zero every single time. I talk with a lot of people through my podcast, through emails, through my newsletters, and I realize this is a huge problem. Too many people, including me, carry way too many dreams. It's time to get real and get honest with yourself. You can be fulfilled, but you can never be fulfilled trying to do everything. Start killing dreams. Key takeaways: the dreams pull you forward naturally. If you're constantly having to push yourself, it might be a fantasy, not a dream. The someday maybe tax drains your current energy without building your future. And it also involves others in your life who pay that tax. Windows of opportunity don't stay open indefinitely. Today is the most resource-rich you've ever been. Letting go of misaligned dreams isn't a failure. It's a necessary recalibration. It's what winners do, not what quitters do. Mental clarity comes from having fewer, more aligned goals rather than numerous fantasies. If you dig this material, if you want to go deeper, if you want to take some next steps, here's 3 actions you can take this week. Number 1, conduct a dream inventory. List every single current goal or dream you've been carrying around. For each one, answer the questions above honestly. Make a clear decision about which dreams stay and which ones must go. You should go into this with the goal of killing as many as possible. We're not coming out with the same amount that we're going in with. It's a very fine filter or screen that we're running everything through. So if you come in with 10 dreams, let's go out with one, maybe two. A lot of stuff will get cut in this process. 2, perform a retirement ceremony. For each dream you're releasing, write it down on a piece of paper, acknowledge what it taught you or why you pursued it, then physically discard it. Tear it up, burn it, compost it, get rid of it, whatever you want. I know this sounds silly, but these types of rituals help your brain register this intentional release. These acts matter. That's why people do these things, because it leaves a lasting effect. We don't want to just say, hey, the dream's gone, but it's not really gone. It's just hiding there. We actually want it dead, gone in the ground, take it out Sopranos style, never to return. The third thing, create a focus dashboard. For the dreams that remain, the ones that passed all 4 questions, this is only a few, identify the next single action you could take in the next 48 hours to move it forward. Put these actions on your to-do list and only these actions and execute them before adding anything else. At this stage, you shouldn't have many dreams left. 1 to 3 is probably realistic for most people. After all, how much can you focus on at a high level at once? For most of us, including me, that's not many. I might be able to focus on 1 or 2 things. If it's much more than that, I can get stuff done. I just can't get it done well. So I might get 10 things done at level 20, or I can get 2 or 3 things done at level 90. And when you put stuff on your list, if you don't do it in the next 48 hours, you better re-examine whether this is actually a dream or it's a fantasy in hiding, because you should be getting to the stage now where everything that you're doing is pulling you forward. And if you're finding resistance to do it, it's not a dream. Remember, success isn't measured by how many dreams you nurture. It's measured by how many you actually bring to life. Sometimes cutting loose the dreams that aren't a fit is the most productive thing that you can do. So cut them free, kill them, bury them, leave them behind, and never, ever look back. Proceed into the future unencumbered. What dreams have you been carrying around that no longer serve who you truly are? Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. I'm Diego. If you want to learn more about me, check out the links to my newsletter and all my other channels below. Thanks for watching. And until next time, be nice, be thankful, and do the work.